Okay, it's the final segment of the show, and we appreciate your company. The ancient city of Badagry is famous for tourism and history, of the slave trade. That's what we know it for. Thank God we have more cheering news from Badagry on this particular edition of the program today.
Well, I think I know a little more about Badagry, the coconuts and everything.
The coconut and the watermelons.
Yes, the son of the soil, fast-rising filmmaker, social crusader, and founder and CEO of the Badagry International Film, Culture and Sports Festival, Viyon, Awhanse, joins us on this intriguing journey into, knowing a lot more about the growth of indigenous movies, the Badagry Story. So good to have you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Viyon, yes?
Yes. It's an honor.
So good to have you. The journey to bringing you to the studio has been so pleasant, and it's good to see you one-on-one. All right. So let's go right into it, John. The recently held festival. Tell us more about it. Is it the first edition, and what purpose did it really achieve?
Thank you, Helen. Thank you, John. And viewers at home, thank you for tuning in. And my name is Viyon Awhanse, and like you introduced me, the festival didn't just start today. So Badagry is known for its alluring nature. When you go, you want to go back. Welcoming nature. You know, sure? Yes. Once you're there, you want to go back. Yeah. So it's alluring Badagry. Yeah. Alluring. So let me just go back a bit. The journey for the festival didn't start today. It didn't just start because we flagged it off. The maiden edition was November last year. We were very intentional since 2008, 2006 in projecting Badagry using audiovisual in filming, infomercial documentaries and doing stuff on different SMEs as an NGO, and that because the idea was for us to make Badagry attractive, visible, and people want to come back. So that alone, quite a number of people saw what we were doing, and they began to ask us, is this Seychelles? Is it Gambia? Why is this tropical? Where is this? I say it's Badagry. So no, we've not been there. Don't forget, back then the road was not this. Yeah. So it put a lot of people off from that the region, that division, Badagry division, and we started doing that. So we knew what we were doing. We were very intentional, and voila, filmmakers started coming just after the COVID. But before that, the new village headmaster was plotted and shot in Badagry. Kunle Afolayan's phone swap was also, one of the high gross movie till date, which I stand corrected, is BC Daughter of the River, was also, dated back and like that. So we leave that. We spoke to, may God bless his soul, Uncle Dejumo Lois, so who also, educated us, Tunde Kilani and every Dudu Hundeyi, and you say, oh, this is great. Okay, let's go up and make this thing happen. And that, then we like I said, filmmakers have come to film, and we said, okay, what brings them back to Badagry? How would they come back? They've come to film. So let's also have this festival more like a marketplace. Let's all come back and their film can screen there. New filmmakers can also screen their films. They will use the opportunity to see the tourism potential, see the opportunities of how the place can grow, and we can grow the local IGR.
Okay. Yeah. Now let's even go back a little, a few years in the history of movie making in Nigeria. If we look at most of our indigenous movies, most of them are rendered in Yoruba dialects. Yes. Okay. So tell me, what language, is used in making movies these days, since we have already established Yoruba,
especially Igbo, the movies that you worked on. Okay.
In 2017, 2015, we did a stakeholders meeting, spoke to our people. We told them that, even the politicians then, we told them that We want to bring people to the town now. We are young people, we are very energetic. We want to bring people. So, and how will they help us to talk to the security agencies and every other person? We need security to assure, there need to be an assurance for the investor. And they all stood up and said, okay, we are ready. We know what you can do. And fast forward, the platform where that was hosting PlusTV, the DSTV, so they, through Victor Sanchez Agawa, so they commissioned a 260 telenovela titled Jemeji. So, and so Jemeji then, interestingly, I happened to be the cultural consultant. Interestingly, I was told to be the location manager. Interestingly, I became the language coach. So I had to call my own sister colleague, Maoyon Ogun. So Maoyon Ogun came, thespian, so they called. She came and I said, sister, this is how we need to do it. So that we started, from the research stage to workshop to script to episode breakdown and all that. Then so we're very deliberate, from the food to the costume to the Sator drum was introduced, Clay Beto, the dance, the music, the theme, and everything. So the names,
culture, tradition.
So we infuse everything into it.
So mystique.
So thanks to the African Magic and Victor Sanchez Agawa for the opportunity. Then people who really don't really understand or know the meaning of their names before then, because we were very deliberate. Senami, I was very intentional. I made sure I put my name of Viyon,
Then we'll add Senayon.
Senayon, yes, of course. So,
remember Viyon.
And Adome, then Fonton, and so people started asking. So then week in, week out, we started, once the episode is out, we'll tweet about it. And the meaning of this name, the meaning of that name. So a lot of people who wanted to now understand, oh, my name means this, Aquayon. Oh, okay, money is good. So they started they started being proud of their names and started putting up there. So that alone now started building that culture and attention and attraction and the visibility we're pushing.
All right, it's important to draw attention from the outside.
Yes, please.
I'm interested also in the attention from the inside, especially the younger ones, who probably think at this point in time other things are more important in terms of generating revenue and creating job opportunities for themselves. How have you been able, to wake up the interest of the young people of Badagry to see the potentials in what you're doing? How involved are they?
Thank you. 100%. I will use that 100%. It's an underdeveloped community. That's the fact. Badagry is an underdeveloped community. So we can't say Badagry is a developing community. But for now, the seaport is there. Some other things are coming. But before now, it was an underdeveloped community, but it's still developing. So there's a stakeholder meeting we engage our people in, which is called, we titled the brainstorming meeting. From the brainstorming meeting, we brainstorm, we ask them questions. So this was on since that 2008 I told you about, that year. Then after that, we started what we call Meet the Mentors. So all these were intentional. So from Meet the Mentors, we bring actors, we bring people, they orientate them, they tell them this is what you need to know, and like that. So by the time we now started the full project, they already know what they needed to do. They know that as an actor, they've not gone to school, so they didn't go to school about it, but you need to learn. So they were being taught from the mentorship event that we organized, so that they know that, okay, so by the time audition came, we knew who to cast and what to cast and when to cast. So that they were also ready for. So they also know that, okay, this is the figure that comes with this role. This is how much you get paid. Not that you will think, oh, I'm being cheated. So you can ask outside to know. So that we're able to build trust. So with that, this period was after COVID.
Okay.
After COVID, and we now realized that the border was also closed. And you know, the border town, all border. I've done research across all border town. Smuggling is what, and why bunkering. So why that happens is simply because there are not enough schools in our border towns.
Interesting.
There are not enough schools in our border town. So if there are enough schools in our border town, most parents will send their kids to school.
Wow.
So that's a research, and I can prove it anywhere. To Daura, I've been to this, I've been to Matageri, I've done research, all because we wanted to see how Badagry can become a template community across other border town communities.
Yeah, and really Badagry, I think it's about time too with Badagry, because Badagry, we've always known Badagry forever. You know, and yeah, it's good that you're very intentional about this. Yeah. Now, let's even see how intentional you are going forward. Because these days, we're looking at quality of film production.
Yes, please.
Right? And the only way you can get to the Netflixes and the Amazons of this world is to up your game and have very good quality materials and content and all of that. So, where would you think would to be easy for you to have as outlets for your materials that are going out? Because to shoot a Netflix in quotes movie is very expensive.
How about finances? How do you get your finances?
So where do you think you can easily get out and get the word out?
Okay, interestingly, I've worked on projects that are on Netflix.
Okay.
So I've worked on projects as a production executive that are on Netflix. So, and there's still one we're still planning now. So I would say the story is very important. The story, there must be a story.
Yeah.
So once there's a story, once there's a good story, and it's taken to the right people, the funding will come. And once they know that, okay, you have a track record, and okay, you've done this, you've done this, you've done that, and they say, okay, yes, okay, what's happening? So, and they will now say, okay, what is the budget? But before then, they'll all be pre-production, planning, logistics, to know how everything can go. So, but with that, I think being intentional, we have scripts on ground, we have things on ground, and part of it is why I'm here also this morning. So it's also to speak about it. Yeah. So to say, okay, we are ready. If we are called to say, okay, what do you have on ground? We are ready. What is the script? What do you want to do? What stories? Is it, what genre do we want to talk about?
So content is not a
content is not a problem. The resources is not, in terms of manpower, in terms of location, in terms of from pre-production to post-production. It's not an equipment partner. We have equipment. We have partners who run. You know, it's not a problem. But the whole thing is liquid. Only the liquid is what makes the ship float on the.
Okay, so the liquid
is important. Liquid is what is very important.
Yes.
You know, when you talk of storyline, when you talk of the story, that is key. The story must be number one.
Yeah.
Would you say that indigenous stories, the stories from our backgrounds with the culture and the tradition of the African people, would you think that is gaining more traction in the international community now, or are we still following their Western romance and the business terrain of all of?
Yeah, so when it comes to that, there are two things involved: the investor and the producer. So when the investor comes, what is the idea behind what he wants to get?
Okay.
That's so. If the investor says, no, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. Now the producer can only do it because the producer wants to get money.
Yeah.
And feed the family and pay the bills. But the producer who now source for funds, apart from the investor not interfering, no any other third party saying this, and you're independent, then you can say, oh, we have this story. We want to do this story. But before then, you must have been able to make your mark for you to say, this is what we want to do. So you will not be a push aside. Okay, push over, they'll say, okay, they believe you, you can do this. That's why our dear sister, Funke Akindele.
Great. I mean, and she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
She's doing a great job. Now, let's even look at the the moral or whatever behind what you've been doing, because
Yeah.
I see that you've done quite a bit,
Yeah.
especially in that area.
Yeah.
Now, my focus is this, on young people.
Yes, please.
A lot of them are looking the wrong way.
Yeah.
Some of them are going all in search of good life.
Yeah.
They're going into drugs, prostitution, all kinds of things, kidnapping, all these vices. Now, how have you been able to provide a better alternative for them in Badagry?
Okay, you mentioned kidnapping. That I would say, Badagry, if you think back in the border town communities or in communities, Badagry is the only community, stand corrected, Badagry is the only community that still stands that or still exists that you won't hear that there was a riot.
Okay. Okay, riot.
So what brings about riot? Now, so that means the traditional institution, the people in Badagry we still manage ourselves. We understand what we want.
Okay.
We know what, so if anything negative comes to that town, it's the foreigners, let me just use that quote, it's the visitors who are seeing how these guys are not wahala people, oh, they are nice people, let's play on their intelligence, you know, that kind of thing. So it happened. So, and on drugs, on prostitution, like I said, it's a border town community. It's a border town problem. It's a universal problem.
True.
It's a universal problem. It's a problem across border town, especially border town.
Okay. So we're looking at what the alternative you have now. Is it able to help, to pull more young people away from these vices? Because you keep them more busy now. You're getting more and more of them to join you, to project Badagry and the values of the Nigerian people and the African people at large.
If you can do that in just 30 seconds.
Okay, so for that, I'll say morals, right? So, yes, they've seen what we are doing and they've been able to know that. I've seen people who have come to me, testimonials, that they don't want to go into smuggling anymore because of what we are doing. So the more we bring investors, the more filmmakers come there, the more we do a visual project, infomercial, documentary, whatever it is, sporting activities, the more they get busy. And that we always take them, because the more they make money, the more they get busy. So once they are busy, there's nobody wants to.
Wow.
And I do mind. And when there's something in their pockets and they know that if we get popular, people will see us in the movies, and then we can sustain our families with it, of course. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. I wish we had more time to actually go into the details of the festival, but we would be able to look at that in another outing. Okay?
I'll be glad to be here.
Thank you so much for what you're doing out there.
Thank you.
Quite an interesting conversation. I will say I have gained so much from that.
Thank you.
And John?
Oh, yeah. And
the point of no return? Badagry?
Yeah. I was there recently. I think, about October, November. Okay. And I was quite delighted when I saw the progress on the road. It wasn't completed at that time, but I'm sure it's done now.
Yes.
So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
My brother.
Yes.
And, we're going to invite you again. We hope you will.
John, you could just go straight away to your nuggets if the director will take that.
Yes, I'll take my nuggets while my guest is here. And really, my nuggets is, to help people who are into public speaking. And we've always seen public speaking as a leadership
you can get a few
skill.
of your people to do public speaking.
Yeah, it's a leadership skill. And so on this program, I share some of my nuggets.
We share.
Go! So I have quite an interesting one today. It's a leadership nugget, actually, and it's by Malcolm X. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. And I always want to relate it to public speaking, right? Yeah. You always have to prepare for every engagement. Never take any engagement for granted, all right? Because your success tomorrow on stage, your presentation, that discussion, only relies a lot on how you've prepared for it. So prepare, prepare, prepare. That's my nugget for today. Helen?
It's very funny that public speaking, each time you talk about nuggets, you bring one nugget out. For me, is an enlargement of life.
Okay.
Because you're talking public speaking now, preparation, I'm looking at stage performances, I'm looking at the theater, I'm looking at the movie production.
Your director has said
you started earlier
your
on by
director
saying
says you shouldn't look too far.
you started this show since 2008.
Yes.
So it's preparation.
Preparation.
And life is preparation. If you do not prepare to succeed, they say you prepare to fail. All right.
And that will
So
be the program this week.
And you're preparing. So join us same time next week.
She never wants to leave.
For everything else that you're dreaming.
See you next week.
See you next week. Thanks for being there. Bye now.